In my previous Inside Out video, I've only tried my best to spot Inside Out 2 emotions in the first film. But now it's time to share what I think about Inside Out 2. The problem with most sequels is that they suck. They don't feel necessary. They don't come close to the original. And with Pixar, it's no exception. As my friend Zeno puts it, well, it's Pixar. So you either get dumpster fire like Cars 2 or cinema masterpieces like Toy Story 2. So, was Inside Out 2 a dumpster fire like Cars 2 or a cinematic masterpiece like Toy Story 2? It was a cinematic masterpiece. This is how you do a sequel. Hi, I'm Zidney, and this is Inside Out 2, embracing every emotion. As I've said before, the problem with many sequels today is that they often feel unnecessary. They can be rushed, relying on the success of their predecessors rather than offering a compelling story. Because when revenues are high, executives want to capitalize on the film's popularity while it's still hot. So they would just throw in the main characters of the first film in a subpar plot and call it a sequel. But Inside Out 2 is different. It took 9 years to develop, indicating their commitment to crafting a meaningful narrative that aligns with the essence of the original film. Although that's not always the case. The first film, Inside Out, centered on Riley and her family during her formative years. In the sequel, however, the focus shifts to Riley and her peers as she navigates life at age 13. And that's how it is in real life. As children grow older and become teenagers, they become more independent and don't spend as much time with their parents as they used to. With puberty in full swing, Riley's parents take a backseat for this sequel, as she spends more time with her friends than with her parents, making this exploration of friendship and adolescence particularly timely. Riley grew older, so of course she was going to experience new things and deal with new emotions, and a sequel is the perfect avenue to showcase that. So I honestly wouldn't mind if we get an Inside Out film for every major stage in Riley's life. Imagine an Inside Out film with Riley as an adult. That would be very interesting. I just hope they don't milk the story like they did with other film franchises. As Riley's world expanded around her, the universe in her mind also grew. The world building in the first film was already so intricately designed, but with added concepts like brainstorm, sense of self, and the belief system, Inside Out 2 manages to expand the world inside Riley's head even further. In the first movie, they introduced the concept of a core memory as a highly emotional charged event that is then stored in Riley's brain. Now these core memories can be brought to the belief system and turned into a belief that makes Riley's sense of self. The introduction of a belief system makes perfect sense as Riley enters her adolescent years when she starts to form her own beliefs. The film's selling point is the addition of new emotions. Envy, embarrassment, ennui, nostalgia, and most notably, anxiety. I felt envy and ennui could have been more developed. Ennui being nonchalant was fitting, but I expected envy to be more mean-spirited. After all, it's envy. I was hoping for a portrayal that captured its true essence. However, the depiction of anxiety was really powerful. And actually, since the film centers around anxiety, I thought I should bring in someone who has more experience with this emotion. Siti, take it away.
Since this whole movie revolved around anxiety taking over Riley's mind, of course as someone who experienced mental illness, I resonated with it. I almost teared up during the scene where anxiety was spinning all over the control console to fix the situation until she even froze with the overwhelm of everything wrong happening. Anxiety took control of Riley's life, that she did a lot of things that hurt her friends, Bree and Grace, even if that was not her full intention. The depiction of a panic attack was also spot on. Not being able to breathe, feeling like everything is out of control and nothing else seems to matter. I'm glad Joy was there to tell Anxiety to just let go. I'll admit that the sudden introduction of new characters was surprising, but I guess that's also part of growing up and maturing, right? I wish we got to know Envy and Envy more. It felt like they were just there to serve and move the plot. Anxiety as a character though is well fleshed out, and I'm glad that she didn't just randomly leave after her breakdown. Anxiety never really leaves you anyway. Sometimes you even have to befriend it. Anxiety. Another favorite part of mine is anger and pouchy.
I personally may not have experienced having panic attacks, but I know what it feels like when Riley couldn't sleep thinking about the worst case scenarios. But just like Riley, though it took a lot of time to get there, I've realized that joy is also a choice.
For me, I've realized that happiness is just fleeting. God never promised happiness but joy. Peace amidst all that is happening in the world. I'm on my journey towards mental health recovery, but I can also truly say that I've never been happier these days. I have my sad moments, but I also have the Lord's peace that everything will be okay, and I can just be present wherever I am, and I can trust Him.
I'm so glad to hear that. What I've noticed in the sequel was that Riley felt more than just a puppet than she did in the first film. In the first film, it felt like the 5 emotions were basically controlling everything that Riley did. However, in Inside Out 2, you could see that Riley didn't allow her emotions to always control her actions. For instance, when Anxiety was trying to make Riley sneak inside Coach's office to look at the notebook, Riley hesitated. We even see her actively calling out for joy. Despite the complexity of our emotions, as both Riley and City express, joy remains a choice. This shift illustrates Riley's growth. While children often let their emotions dictate their actions, maturity allows us to navigate our feelings more intentionally. However, Riley wasn't the only one who was growing. Even though Joy has learned her lesson in the first film, that she can't always control what Riley can and can't feel, Joy continues to grow.
Yep, as we've seen in the film, Joy learns another lesson, that we are made up of both our bad and good memories. We can't just keep throwing them in the back of the mind, literally and figuratively. Both make up who Riley is, her whole sense of self. Nobody is perfect and nobody has it perfect 100% of the time. There's a time and place to be delusional but not all the time. We really need to feel our feelings, all of it. Even Jesus wept.
Actually, that lesson reminds me of Bluey's design, where we learn that moments, whether good or bad, don't always lead to clear outcomes. We have to experience the full range of circumstances to grow.
You're really pushing me to watch Bluey, huh?
Yes, it's really good.
Anyway, Joy has evolved when she was able to acknowledge that she gets frustrated. In that scene where she has an outburst towards fear, disgust, and anger, pressing her to know what to do. Now she's just not chasing fake happiness. That takes so much work because you have to keep the bad memories at bay. She's still the same old Joy that's running everything at the headquarters, still loves Riley even when she thinks she's not enough, and reminds her that she is.
The introduction of the sense of self highlights a crucial lesson. While it's easy to side with Joy and want to push Riley's bad memories aside, after all, she's just trying to protect her. Those memories are essential to Riley's identity. The film illustrates that both good and bad experiences shape who we are. When we base our sense of self solely on positive moments, we risk placing too much pressure on ourselves, especially when we make mistakes. On the other hand, if we allow anxiety to dictate our sense of self, we may adopt a distorted view of who we truly are. Our feelings are always valid, but they aren't always rooted in truth. We can be good while also making mistakes. We can feel we're not enough without being incapable. Ultimately, we need to embrace all our experiences, recognizing that both the good and the bad are important parts of who we are. In summary, Inside Out 2 brilliantly builds on the original's themes, showing that both joy and struggles are a part of who we are. As Riley navigates her teen years, we're reminded that it's crucial to embrace all our experiences, both the good and the bad. This sequel does a fantastic job of honoring the first film while delivering important lessons about emotions and growth. Overall, it's a heartfelt exploration of what it means to truly be ourselves. Hi guys, I had high expectations for this film since Inside Out is my favorite Pixar film, and I'm really glad it has exceeded my expectations. There was honestly so much to unpack, and I wanted to discuss everything, but then the video would be too long. I also just want to thank CT for helping me out with this video. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Don't forget to stay for the end credits. Don't be like Ati Zid and me. The joke lang.
Oh right, we didn't know there was an end credit. Good thing Inside Out 2 is finally on Disney+, so go check it out. Do you know there's a Filipino dub of this? We really need to check this out. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again next time. Bye!